in
Oh,
total.
yo, did you get HBO Max or no?
No, so what's on it?
All right. There's some movies and TV shows.
Okay.
Um, Now the crazy thing is, I don't know if it's on HBO now or not, but I don't know if I told you that Amazon and Roku hasn't done a deal yet.
Really
So it's not on the Fire Stick and it's not on Roku
interesting.
because HBO. So the problem is, that you could subscribe through Amazon or you could subscribe through Roku.
Yep.
So what HBO is telling Amazon and Roku is you have to tell them to cancel their subscription and to resubscribe with us.
Wow, because they want the numbers. They want them emails. They want
And
them emails.
Amazon's like, nah. And I guess Roku's doing the same.
Yep.
But you know me, like, I got to work around.
Yep.
So Android TV did do a deal.
Okay.
So I just sideloaded the Android TV app to the Fire Stick,
Yep.
and it works. I just got to use the HBO Now app.
Gotcha.
So whenever I click on HBO Now, the HBO Max comes
There's
on.
too many. It's HBO Now, HBO Go, HBO Max.
Right. So I don't know, but
I just bought it. Yep.
I like it, and I don't think that it's much better than when Disney has started.
Oh, okay.
Like everyone was complaining, like, "Oh, it's such a terrible app," or this, that, and the other. It looks good. It looks like HBO is just purple, so I kind of like that. It's trying to be different, basically. Yeah. So, the shows. I haven't looked at the show with Anna Kendrick yet, but that's kind of one that I want to watch.
Okay.
And then they have the movie with what's this dude? Mark Ruffalo, where he's playing twins.
Oh, okay, yeah, that looks interesting.
So those are the two that I need to watch, but it's content, man. Like just looking at it now, like knowing the deal that they have, like it was a smart play, and I ordered it beforehand, so I'm paying like a discounted price for 12 months.
Nice.
So it was like, and I was just thinking to myself, like with that and Netflix, and it just makes so much sense.
If you have Prime Video, because there's a lot of stuff coming out on Prime.
Prime Video, Hulu.
Yep.
So I watched the second season of Rami. Pretty good.
I haven't gotten through the first season yet because I didn't have Hulu all this time. I have it now.
Okay, so check Rami, check High Fidelity.
Okay. Did you watch Uncut Gems?
Yes.
Okay. How was that? Because it's on Netflix now.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
Did you watch High Times?
No, I haven't watched anything from the Safdie brothers. Nothing.
Okay, so I did like High Times.
Okay,
and
so what?
When I found out that they did Uncut Gems, I was like, oh, I see it now.
Got you.
I like their story and their storytelling because it's very compelling. It keeps you on the edge of your seat.
Literally. Okay. All right. So I'm going to watch it. I'm going to check that out because it's right there. And this is one interesting thing. Like everything is being reordered right now. Everything. And like even the movie that we're reviewing today, which is LoveBirds starring Issa Rae and Kamal Nanjiani, that was supposed to come out in the theaters.
Right, exactly.
But it came out on Netflix. They got a deal really quick because we were talking about like when is this going to come out, and they flipped that deal really fast for Netflix. But I think this is going to be the way, man. I really think this, especially for movies like this, even though it would have done well.
I was going to say, I think that the reason why the deal got done so quick is because the two of them were executive producers.
Yes.
So I think that it was an easy sell for the two of them. One of the biggest reasons is because, so I remember I told you Insecure ended up taking a delay because it was supposed to come out last fall.
Yeah.
And so she's got so many projects that are on her table right now.
Yep.
And he just joined Marvel, so he's got to start promoting the Eternals.
Yep.
So it's no way that they could have postponed the movie.
Yeah.
And then still do press, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, just do internet press, which they did. And it's like, and people are going to discover and people are going to talk about it, and they probably will get bigger numbers. Right. And it does well for their own personal brand and executive producing, because the next time he comes with it, he's like, listen, Amazon, you had Big Short. Netflix, you had LoveBirds. What's up? You know what I mean? So it's like, and then she's like, HBO, I got something, you know, Netflix, I got something. What's next? And it's a really good move for the both of them, and it's a great move for all of us because we didn't have to leave our our seats. I'm pretty sure everybody's buying a 4K TV now because they're like, listen, I want to see it in the best definition that I can if I'm gonna be home watching everything. But it's like,
and you notice how people aren't even talking about it, but she already had 2 movies in the first half of this year.
mm-hmm.
This and The Photograph.
Yep.
I mean, like, this is basically what it means to build a brand. You know what I mean?
We're watching it
because she's got her show on.
Yes.
She's got 2 movies out, and like, there's just no telling what the second half will look like.
Is she going to be the biggest internet crossover success? Because I don't know if anybody else is already in that. Like, who else came from the YouTube game? Because she did that with Awkward Black Girl. Came from the YouTube game. Got an opportunity to create their own show on HBO. Ran 4 seasons.
Right.
Has done multiple movies at this point. Multiple movies. 2 big movies in top of this year. And then just more coming. This is a big.
Yeah, I mean, she's that would make her, a pioneer from there.
Pioneer, dog. That's a huge crossover. To go from starring in your own piece of content and writing your own piece of content to then going over to HBO, starring and writing your own piece of content.
Right. I'm trying to think of people who are the biggest internet stars.
And we're speaking of Issa Rae.
Right. And I'm just trying to think of who are the biggest internet stars to like do something like that. The only thing I could really think of is someone like Joe Rogan, who went from other industries into the internet, and basically has more than a calling in that atmosphere, So, but yeah, no, I mean, I can hardly think of anyone who's started out in the internet game and then went somewhere else
and doing it independent. She's like Master P in this shit.
Right.
She's no limited cash money this shit, like executive producing. And the one thing that I really love about this movie, LoveBirds, had this been 10 years ago, this would have been like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, like easily. Easily. Katherine Heigl. It would have went through so many different people. Who knows who this script went to prior to them. But the fact that we have 2 faces of color, which is really not even mentioned in the movie, but we have 2 faces of color who are just performing, who are just a couple who are on the ropes, started with tons of love in this comedy, and we're just watching this roller coaster. This is monumental. Because even 5 years ago, 3 years ago, it would have been him and someone else or her and someone else.
Right. It's groundbreaking because, just like you said, like the one thing that I picked up on the most was that there was not one piece of dialogue that was referenced into race or ethnicity. And that's what made it most enjoyable, where it was just like, these are any 2 people in a relationship.
Any 2 people.
That's the basis of it. It had nothing to do with, it's 2 people of color in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not once not having the reference made you the ability to relate just in the relationship aspect of it.
Yeah.
And I respect that. I respect that over most movies that have anyone,
He's from Pakistan in real life, but he didn't have to put on this extra Indian voice that American movie makers love to do with Indian people.
Right.
They love to do it.
It's crazy.
They were just people. He was a filmmaker, documentary filmmaker. I forgot what she did.
Oh, she worked at I don't want to say a law firm, maybe a marketing agency.
I think so.
Yeah. But I mean, right. Like, and I feel like that's the best part about character, like building character in
Yes.
movies and stories, is that, it's more about what, who the person actually is rather than the things that people normally judge on.
Yes. Yes.
So, and the fact that like uh he makes documentaries was integral to the story. It had nothing to do with more along the lines of, oh, this is the type of person that he is. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Well, I mean, we've been going, but let's open it up. I'm no Justin, no peace.
and I'm Lou
And we
Rivers.
are the Loose Cannons Podcast because we fire off our opinions on today's pop culture,
What else?
politics,
What else?
movies and TV, and how they all intersect. And oh, baby, we're talking about the LoveBirds today, starring Issa Rae and Kamal Manjani, both executive produced by them. And I had a good time. This is the movie that I had wanted to see with my wife because we both love Issa.
Right.
We sit down every week and we watch Insecure, which is next week is going to be on its 10th episode, and we're going to talk about that next week. But man, it's just been really. And I watch Kamal from what's the name of the show?
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been on for I think what, like 6 seasons, 7 seasons, something like that. Yeah. So it's been in watching him in The Big Short. But it was really exciting to see that this movie was going to happen, and it did not disappoint.
Right. I definitely enjoyed it. I like the writing and enjoyed it, and loved the fact these little twists and turns throughout the movie.
Yeah,
it definitely kept you entertained. There was no lag anywhere. The story kept going. I like the fact that it had some heights in the middle of it where you didn't, how when there's story development and there's like lulls in the story, never had that. So definitely enjoyed it. What'd you think about it?
And it was a comedy. It was a good comedy. It was a romantic comedy. It was fun. It was silly. It had ridiculous nature to it. Like, it was everything that you wanted in this type of comedy. It's not taking itself too seriously, and that's great. That's great. It's just one of those things that this allows you to just unwind and just enjoy and just laugh. And they felt real. Their performances, they just felt like real people. You felt like they were really in love. Like everything, it was a good story. It was a good story. It was fun.
I definitely when watching it out, when the beginning scene when they're just like getting together, I thought that was going to be like, oh, this is going to be most of the story, just like every other story.
Nope.
And then just a flash forward to them like almost breaking up.
Yep.
And like basically this is the premise of the movie.
Yes.
This is
that it brings them back together.
Right.
This horrible night brings them back together. It's great, yo. I gotta watch it again because it's like, it took you on a good journey. It did in that way. It did defy a lot of the things that they broke up right prior to all of this happening, and this was their return to love story. And it was real because that it doesn't stay like that. Those first few weeks of romantic bliss turn into something else really quickly, and it's about how people weather that storm, and the miscommunication that couples have and not realizing how much a person, holds them dear and what they really think about them. For a movie that's like a serious, like a comedy, they really had levels to it. They had points that they were trying to say about relationships, and it was really good.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I like the fact that you could see how the roles may have been. I don't know how much of the writing they participated in, but they had structured some of it around the two of them and their personalities. How the script was, I definitely enjoyed that.
Yes,
like the two of them are very good. And you know me, I hate slapstick parts of comedy, but this one used all those parts perfectly.
Perfect.
So especially like when they're driving and just the frames of their sight, looking at each other in the mirrors or something.
It was when they kept rolling over the guy, because in the trailer you only get like 2 rollovers. In the movie it's about 5.
Yeah.
And then,
oh my gosh!
And then was great.
The dialogue in the diner, hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just
this is
you
me
thinking to
covering
yourself,
up my body cam.
you're thinking about like, oh, what would I have done in this situation? You can see how easily you have gone down the same path.
Yes.
So definitely enjoyed it. How many cannons did you give it?
I'm gonna give this a strong 4. This is a strong 4. Like in the realm of comedy, it's not the type of comedy like a Coming to America. You know what I mean? So I can't give it a 5. That's a 5 for me. But this is a strong 4. This is fun. This is something that you can watch with your shorty, your boo, whoever you can watch as a group. It's just a really fun comedy. And this is one of those I think is going to do very well on like an HBO, because if it's on, you'll just leave it on in the background. You know, this is one of those things that you can turn over to and just watch certain moments from it, because it just takes you on a cool journey. Like I think it made the best of, like, you know, like movies like Harold and Kumar, those situations where you're like on the night and people trying to figure it out, you know, the super bad type of, you know, you set up the plot and then we just see where it goes, you know, what The Hangover did, you know, all of those things that are just about, you know what the setup is. We're going to see where this journey goes because they're trying to solve it. And then it's fun. You just go on this journey. Like every moment, every twist and turn, it gets weirder. Like the whole cult, I still want to know what was about to go on. Like the fact that they were like, you know, you kind of liking this? Like, I thought that was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious.
I gotta go check my Google Calendar.
That's you were. It was just so good. Take off your mask.
I think that it made me think about a lot of things. You just said something that made me think. You said you go watch it with your boo or whatchamacallit. So I wonder if, you know, we're starting to get to that age in about 20 years when we're like almost in our 60s and stuff. Yeah. You still gonna have boos or something like that? Like, is your wife gonna still be your boo at like?
I'll probably still use it trying to be hip.
So I wonder, like right now, you know, older, because I feel like this movie's for anybody.
It is.
So old people could watch it too. So old people could take their booze out of.
Yes, old people, old booze, young booze, in between, you know, booze.
They could look at it and be like, "Remember that time we almost broke up? Look, that was us."
That's right. That's right.
So, people who are on the verge of breaking up, go watch this movie.
Go watch this.
Okay, so what I gave it a 3 3/4.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was really good, well done, and like I said, the thing that it could have been anybody in those two roles.
Yes.
Like it could have been 2 females. It could have been 2 dudes. You know what I mean? It could have been anybody in those roles, and that's what
she would have been. Cameron Diaz in a whole nother era. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it was just, the performance was great. You know.
Yes.
I'm not the biggest fan of rom-coms, but this is definitely one that I can watch and I could probably watch again.
Yes.
I think that people need to get out there, try to watch. I mean, don't get out there, stay home and watch it.
You know, I think they removed a lot of the cheesiness, because I think what they did was kind of like disarm you and throw it at the beginning. We don't need any flashbacks. We're going to give you their whole little love story from the beginning and just use that as a juxtaposition to where they are now.
Right. And everybody's been there.
Exactly. And then we just remove all the other cheesiness from it that all the other romantic comedies have, you know, where the person has to like do this weird change. The guy is the one who can't commit, and then the woman who is trying, and then he has to change himself a little bit to get her back. Like, you know, we didn't have to do none of that.
Right.
The rest of it
4 years later, they already invested.
Yes.
They already know who the other person is, but they don't know who the other person is.
That's right.
I enjoyed that. Just being thrown right after that scene and the title, and then thrown into a fight. You just like,
yes. This is real.
And the whole thing is, those pre-fight, the non-fight fights, the non-confrontational fights where y'all disagreeing, but y'all
both trying to avoid the disagreement, but still both pissed off.
Yeah.
So you might as well just hash it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, it was 3. You said 3 3/4. I gave it a 4. Go watch it. Go watch
Go
it. It's
watch
on Netflix.
Stream it while you can.
Stream it while you can. It's there. Check it out. It's fun. Now, because we love the show Insecure, and Issa is the creator of Insecure.
Yes.
And her co-star on the show, the character Molly, is Yvonne Orji. Now, they've been showing trailers at the beginning of Insecure. Now, one of them was have you watched that show from the girl who did Chewing Gum? There's a new show on Netflix. I guess it premiered this Sunday right after Insecure. Okay. But it's like I don't even know. I think her name is like Michaela Coelho, something like that. She's from Europe, and she had like this show that was on Netflix. It did pretty good. Chewing Gum. It was like a comedy.
But yes. I know what show you're talking about.
Now, the original trailers for this seemed like it was going to be like a serious show, and then now the new trailers make it look like a comedy. I don't know what's happening. I thought it was like a date rape. It was kind of throwing me off. But besides that, other trailers were playing. It was Yvonne Orji's stand-up special.
Yes.
Now, my wife loves Yvonne. She watches her lives. So we've been waiting to watch the stand-up special.
Okay.
Now, I always am concerned about watching stand-up special because I've been disappointed. And I'm going to let you know right now, I'm not going to hold my tongue. I was waiting to watch Tiffany had a stand-up special when it came out. And I was extremely disappointed. Like I was like this. I couldn't watch it. I could not watch it. My wife,
she ain't ready.
It was so trash. I mean, so trash when it comes to stand up. So I was already on edge. I was like, ooh, I only seen clips of Yvonne, on the internet. Who knows if this gonna work? An hour with Yvonne. I was not disappointed. I was thoroughly entertained.
Okay.
And I was already tired, but I stayed up the whole time.
Okay.
I really enjoyed this first stand-up. And it reminded me, I mean, granted, it's her first special, not her first stand-up. But it reminded me of the feeling that I got when watching Kevin Hart's early, stand-up on Comedy Central. What was it? Not Laugh at My Pain. The original ones, like Little Big Man. I think Grown Little Man, or what was the one after that?
I can't even remember.
Whatever it was, but those were early and solid stand-ups. That was like, I want to continue watching this guy. I want to see more from this guy, and that's what she gave me.
All right, okay.
What'd you think?
Coming from the stance of Tiffany Haddish, I definitely concur and agree. And if that's the standard, then I'm definitely going to say this was way better than I'm going to agree there. I don't think that it's one of my faves, obviously, but as far as...
Did you have laugh out loud moments?
I chuckled.
Okay.
So the other reason why I can laugh at times is because my son is African also. He's not from Nigeria, but I understood a lot of the African references. So, and I mean, I think that it may be a disconnect from that idea. A lot of people who aren't, involved in the culture or know the culture. So a lot of the jokes didn't hit me how I wanted them to hit me.
Okay.
But I think that's this being her first special.
Yep.
Showed a lot, period.
Yes.
So I think her delivery is good. I think that I want to see some more of her writing and a lot more of her content being universal. Yeah. So, I mean, I enjoyed it. I think the timing was wrong also.
Okay.
So as much as you want to do it when HBO is delivering Max, the other thing is her character on Insecure is at an all-time low.
You're so right.
So you're not gonna have the support that I ain't gonna watch no Molly stand up, and you're just
so right.
It's not Molly though, that's what I was thinking. So I mean, there may be that stigma. So it may have been better to either have it at the end of the season, but we don't know how the season's going to look next week. But or have it midway through the season where she was still on the verge of
people not feeling a certain way about how Molly's handling things.
Right, exactly.
Okay, listen. I had to say this with my wife. I really don't like how Molly's handling the situation on Insecure. I know this is a sidetrack, but damn it, I really don't like how she's handling it. It just does not make sense. I'm trying to make sense of it. Her point is, she went behind her back. She didn't go behind her back. It's not like she plotted. She was speaking to someone who actually just happened to be his close friend. And his close friend just happened to want to help him and then put it in his ear.
Right. We're going to get into this all next week. I would love to jump in here, but I mean, I'm going to go off on a tangent like no other. So.
And I think that's where next week is going, though, because I think that Molly's going to lose a lot of everything. A lot. She's going to lose a lot again because she's still being Molly. She's still Mollying.
I was going to say, yo, you think, like, I was wondering how it's going, and I was like, damn, I think Andrew may break up with her. Like, I think that is going to happen because she did something stupid with the brother too. Like, granted, the brother was stupid when they were on vacation, but it's his brother, and I believe that going to the game was like a show of, okay, this is a peace offering. Let's start again. That's where that potential was going, and if you can't just make that step. It's like, you can't support me, Andrew, as your man, because he's looking at you seriously. He's probably like, I really want something with this. This may be, it for me. Right.
And if you can't just deal with my family and their quirks, like he knows his brother is an ass sometimes. But if you can't deal with that, how are we going to be together?
Exactly. That's honestly what I thought. I was just like, the season's going to end with him breaking up with her and then her not being able to lean on Issa. And that's it.
At all.
I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, one more prediction.
Go ahead.
What is Lawrence going to do? What do you think is happening there?
Oh, man.
Because they're positioning her to have to choose between him and Nate.
Right. I think that he's going to end up going to San Fran.
I think so, too.
And he's going to, I don't know if he's going to say whether they can try to work it out or does she want to go with him since she don't really have a base anymore,
I don't think they're going to change the show that much with them living in San Fran so far away from the friend group, unless they're really diverting the show to, back to her and
But
Lawrence.
That's the whole thing. I think that she's not going to go even if she's offered.
Okay.
And that'll be the crossroad point and like, what are we doing moment,
Yes.
And if they end up separating or breaking up or not doing what they're doing, that's when she falls into Nate's arms. That's just how I see it.
I think so. I think that's it. I think you wrote it. And that's it. All right, so let's get back to Mama I Made It. Mama I Made It.
Oh, all right. Okay, I forgot that's what we were doing.
Listen, when I'm watching stand-up, I do look for certain things because I do watch stand-up. And I love the recalling of jokes. Right. I like the callbacks. I like the crowd participation. And I always wait for the last joke that is supposed to culminate and bring in all the different levels that you brought us on. And she did that. It wasn't a big laugh joke, but it was enjoyable. It was sincerely enjoyable. I really loved the joke about the kidnapping. I thought the kidnapping was funny.
Yeah.
But like everything that she did, and so I think we should also say that this was directed by Chris Robinson.
Oh, yes.
Which I'm pretty sure is the Chris Robinson that directed music videos all through the 2000s that we love.
Yes.
And I did like the fact that they interweaved her real life story and her being around her parents through the whole thing. And they perfectly cut those moments together.
Right. To give better context.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was done the right way because if it was a separate documentary, it wouldn't be nearly as interesting.
Right.
You're not going to watch a half hour or hour of her talking about her life story.
Right.
But the fact that it's connected to these jokes, a whole me, like all of those things, It worked. It worked. It at least said, "I want to hear more from you." You know what I mean? Tiffany Haddish. I'm really like, if another one comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I can easily have her currently, based on the track record of Tiffany Haddish, like taking away the acting and just stand up.
Yeah,
I can easily have her one comedy versus Tiffany Haddish's collection.
Yeah.
Purely based on how bad the last one was.
Yes.
And then go, okay, so where does she go from here? Can she bring it up to a Wanda Sykes level?
Yes,
you know?
where she's known as like a comedian.
Right. Like, will this be something? Because at that point, the moment that you can bring your comedy to that level, that means that you can probably bring that into movie roles.
Yes.
You know? And that's the idea. I think that she's not where she needs to be to actually get roles to be in starring movies, you know. But if you can become big enough on the comedy circuit in which to do something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. You can break from TV, put it that way.
Yes.
I like it.
I mean, but right now it seems like she's going to be fine doing this Insecure thing for another couple of years because people are just eating it up. They just keep getting renewed.
She's going to have to show that she can be a different role. Like,
yes.
Because right now, the only thing I can see her in is being Molly or some type of
Molly. Because, you know, her role as Molly is not really, even though there's funny moments, you don't really say that it's comedic. You know what I mean? You wouldn't say that she would, you know, take on a comedic movie. Issa is in that position right now, you know, but you wouldn't want to listen to Issa stand up either. So it's weird how those worlds are crossing. But yeah, she's a good best friend right now.
Yeah. But I was saying this earlier. I was like, it's crazy. It's 4 seasons, right?
Of Insecure, yeah.
Out of all the characters on Insecure, hers is the least developed, the least arc. Because she's a lawyer from the beginning.
Yes.
She's still a lawyer. She's messy relationships, still messy relationships. It's not like she's had growth over the 4. So, I mean, Lawrence is a totally different person. Issa's a totally different person. Goddamn, Nate from last season is a totally different person. So it's like,
well, I think she's at the edge of the cliff. Like, she's peaking. I think if anything, it's the 5th season that we see her growth.
Right.
At this point, we just constantly see her making these mistakes, choosing to get counseling, but then acting as if she doesn't need it anymore.
Right.
And then, you know, now moving forward. And then there's still these impediments that are stopping her. She just can't see herself getting in her own way of her own progress and doing things wrong to people. She's waiting for an apology from Issa.
Right.
You changed the whole vibe. You brought something up at her event. You shouldn't have done that. That wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. You were wrong there. You both did something wrong there. Issa did something that you didn't like, but it wasn't necessarily going behind your back.
Right. You rather be right than happy.
Be right than happy. And that's what the doctor asks her. You know, do you want this relationship to work or you want to be right?
Exactly.
That's it. Damn it, Molly.
Oh, what'd you give it?
I'm gonna give it a. I'm trying to remove my Molly performance out of the situation. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because of what it makes me excited for. I want to see more.
Okay.
I want to see more, and also I have to. Debut stand-ups can be some serious trash of people that I like.
Not everyone's Trevor Noah.
Not everyone's Trevor Noah. I personally, like, I've listened to Lil Rel. Not my favorite.
Right.
I've listened to Hannibal Buress. Not my favorite.
Right.
Now there's some people that connect with me. Gerard Carmichael, I fucks with him. I fucks with Gerard Carmichael. And it's just certain type of stand-ups that just really connect with me. And this, of course, this is still slanted female, you know, so the energy, my wife would probably put this in her top because she's already not listening to that much stand up, but she would probably put this in her top anyway. But yeah, it makes me excited for more. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5. Good job.
All right, let's do a stand up. Let's do a stand up tier next week.
Okay, stand up tier.
Tier of what we see.
Comedians or like actual specials?
No, actual, like who can get up there and do it. I don't care about comedians. Who can get up there and do it, and we'll figure it out, and we'll rate her at and figure out where we put her on the Insecure episode.
Okay,
that sound good.
That sounds good.
What did I give it? I gave it a 3.
Okay.
I don't think I took away my Molly bias. F that. Nah, it was good and I enjoyed it. I do want to see more of it. It was enough for me to want to see her second one. And the crazy part is that Tiffany Haddish's previous one didn't make me want to see the last one. So I guess we'll see how that goes then.
We'll see how it goes. But exciting for the LoveBirds, Kamal Manjani and Issa Rae and Yvonne Orji.
Waiting for more projects.
They're doing their thing. Yeah, it's really I like how we're watching, because they're in our age group, this era of individuals kind of making their way through Hollywood from the outside of it, people who would not have been normally given these opportunities, to do these bigger movies, and they're making a success out of themselves, and we want to see more of it. I don't know what we're reviewing next week. What are we reviewing next week? Okay, guys, stay tuned to what we're reviewing next week.
Stay tuned.
You'll know when we know, but I'm No Justin No Peace.
And I'm Lou Rivers.
And we are the Loose Cannons Podcast, because we sit down and we fire off our opinions on today's pop culture.
What else?
Politics.
What else?
Movies and TV and how they all intersect. And oh, baby, was this a good episode? Episode 56. Yeah. Earlier this week, we had episode 55 where we were talking about what's going on in our society and defunding the police. You got to check that out. And this was episode 56 where we were doing our movie review. And we will be back with you guys next week. I don't know when we get back in the studio again, but it may be sooner than later. We're in a whole new world. We zooming. Apparently we zooming. All right, guys. So we out. Peace.